So this video is a quick demonstration on how to repair Leslie RS diaphragms. Now, one of the most common ways a Leslie RS chamber will fail is the silicone ring on the diaphragm. Holes or tears in the silicone ring will cause air leaks between the chamber and the back cap, and if those leaks are bad enough, the chamber won't function. So now, just as a quick review, only RS diaphragms will have a silicone ring. For those that don't know the difference, it's easiest to tell from the back caps. An S back cap has a shallow dome on it. An RS back cap is flat with a spike on it. Now, an S diaphragm, shown here, is a two-piece assembly that consists of a ring and a thin flat disc. No silicone rings on this at all. Now, an RS diaphragm is a one-piece assembly that has a thick metal disc with a very obvious rubber silicone ring attached to it. So these two diaphragms I have here are spares that I picked up to make this video. Now, this one with the large chunk missing, this is not salvageable. There's too much material missing here to make a repair. However, the reason I have it is because it's a great example of the most common type of repair that needs to be made on a Leslie RS diaphragm, which is the thin rubber on the edge here on the edge of the diaphragm. So the first thing to do once the chamber is disassembled is to clean the diaphragms. Now, this repair method will not work if the diaphragm has dirt or grease on it. To clean the diaphragm, put a few drops of liquid dish soap on the diaphragm, and then use your thumb and index finger to just rub all the dirt and grease and all the gunk off of it. Now, rinse with some warm running water and repeat as necessary. Let the diaphragm dry completely, and then these two that I have here are already clean and ready to go. Now, next thing to do is gather all the supplies necessary for the repair job. Now, these consist of wax paper, some wooden toothpicks, and silicone RTV. Now, silicone RTV is available in pet stores in small tubes like this. Now, it is used to build or repair fish tanks and aquariums. It is perfect for this job because when it cures, it is a clear rubber that has nearly the same properties as the silicone that the diaphragm is made with. Now, one word of caution about this stuff: when it is curing, it lets off acetic acid. Now, acetic acid is the chemical name for vinegar. It's not toxic or dangerous, but if the vapors get concentrated, they can irritate your throat and lungs, so do this in a well-ventilated area. As you can see, I'm doing this outside. So let's get all set up here. Now, if it's a brand new tube, the first thing you want to do is use the plastic cap to puncture the foil seal on the top. And apparently this is a lot more difficult for me to do than it should be. Next, you want to squeeze a small drop out, about the size of a pea, onto the wax paper. And this is all the more you're going to need, probably a little bit more. And the basic idea here is to use the silicone RTV as a glue to stick the parts of the silicone ring back together. You dab your toothpick in, give it a little twirl to get rid of the excess, and then gently spread the crack apart with your fingers and use the silicone RTV as a glue to stick everything back together. Now, you don't want any extra globs or anything that will change the shape of the silicone ring, because that will affect how well the silicone ring will seal in the back cap. Now, once you've applied the silicone RTV to all of the cracks and tears, you want to use your fingers and gently wipe off the excess. And once you're all done with that, you want to let the silicone cure for about 24 hours or so. And lay it down flat side down on the piece of wax paper. Now, as for tears on the thin edge, kind of show you close up on the video. What you want to do is you want to apply it on the edge of the metal disc right here. So I'm applying it along the edge of the metal disc like so. Now, after you have your RTV applied, take your silicone ring and kind of gently lay it back on there. Wipe your excess off on the bottom. Now make sure that the ring is flat all around the edge there. As close to flat as you can manage. Now here's a close-up for you. Alright, there we go. So you can see here where the ring is in good shape, it's nice and flat, and over here where I've repaired it, it's the same. Now, once you have your repair done, wipe off the excess and lie it flat side down on the wax paper. Now once that's done, let it cure for about 24 hours or so. So now that the diaphragms have cured for about a day, you want to check your repair job. You want to inspect all the places that you put the RTV. Now how you do this is you take your fingers and you put gentle pressure on all of the cracks and the places that you sealed up. Now you obviously don't want to put enough pressure to actually break it open again, you just want to make sure that it's sealed up nice and good. Now, if necessary, you are going to want to reapply more RTV and again let it cure for about a day or more. Yes, there is a lot of waiting, but if you want to do a good repair job, patience is the key. To check the repair jobs that you did on the thin edge, take your finger and gently bend down the edge of the silicone ring like so. And you can see if the cracks reappear, then you'll need to reapply more. Now that there is a spot that if I was putting this diaphragm back into service, I would put some more on, because that is a point that could develop into a failure later on. So the last thing I will say is please read the video description for a few more tips and tricks that pertain to disassembly and assembly of an RS chamber. And the last thing I'm going to leave you with in this video are a couple of video clips of an RS U3L that I performed this repair technique on. Now when I originally got this horn it sounded terrible, so the first thing I did was replace the gaskets and head donuts. This helped, but the 25 bell was still dead. After repairing the diaphragms, it sounded great. Both clips were made using new gaskets and new head donuts. The only difference between the two clips is the diaphragm repair.